Now, I know. Do you even remember Quest for Camelot? With movies like The Lion King 2, Mulan, The Parent Trap, Air Bud, and the Rugrats movie, all coming out in the same year, it can be a movie that was really pushed under the rug and forgotten about. But I truly believe it was an underrated family film. There are going to be spoilers in this video, so if you want to watch the movie first, throw this video in your to-be watch list and come back after you've watched the film. To start off, all of the story's main characters are in the opening, and the story is set up from the very beginning. I like that there is a clear outline of what to expect without making the rest of the movie boring. There are really well put together scenes, wonderful attentions to details, and great characters. Let's start off with some of the scenes in the movie that are just really memorable. One that really resonates is the scene where the Griffin swoops in to steal Excalibur. The tension in the scene, the emotions made by the music, and the visual aspects build to this creature being able to effortlessly steal one of the most important weapons that exist. It is a fairly powerful scene to show how strong the antagonist really is. Another one of my favorite scenes is when Kaylee is running away from her home to go to Camelot and warn Arthur that Ruber is coming. Her mother is singing in the background, and the song that is being sung is a prayer to Lionel, Kaylee's dad, to guide her and keep her safe. We see Kaylee struggling to stay on her horse. She's being chased and is panicking trying to get away. In her haste, she turns away from Camelot and into the forest. She is led straight to Garrett, a blind hermit who lives in the woods. When Garrett was young, he went blind in a fire, and Lionel taught him how to continue to live without his sight, connecting him to the family. So the whole scene, we hear her mother singing to her father to keep her safe, and she is led directly to Garrett, who does, in fact, keep her safe. This is a really well thought out scene that ties the story and characters together so nicely. The last scene I want to mention that I thought was really well done was in the end, the final confrontation between Ruber and Arthur. Arthur is wounded and has no weapons. He's trapped without any of the other knights, and Ruber has Excalibur. It is a brief scene, but as Arthur is knocked down, he says,
"I may not survive, Kaylee, no, but you'll never destroy the ideals of Camelot."
This is one of the biggest reasons I love Arthurian literature. The idea of something great, a place that stands for something. There is a major theme of the idea of a false king and the three pillars of Camelot: brotherhood, family, and friendship. Even if Ruber were to defeat Arthur, those ideas exist, and the mind once stretched by an idea never returns to its original dimensions. Along with those great scenes, there is a lot of attention to detail. One of the first really great symbolic moments is when Sir Lionel dies. The moment that his body is returned home, it is the thick of winter. Winter and cold usually symbolize death in this type of scene, showing that Lionel has died, and that is the end of a chapter. Kaylee runs to her horse and a montage begins of her growing up. When she begins the song, "On My Father's Wings," we watch as the season changes to spring. This is all about new growth, change, and development. It's a great touch to add to help move the story along. Along with the death of Sir Lionel, there is a touching detail that can easily be missed. In the beginning, when we first see the Round Table and all of the knights, Lionel sits at the right hand of Arthur. He's one of his most favored knights. After his death, when we see the Round Table and all of the knights years later, that right-hand chair remains empty. This really shows that a person can never truly be replaced. Once they're gone, that empty space they leave remains. Another small detail that may go unnoticed if you aren't paying attention involves Aiden. Garrett, who is blind, is usually accompanied by the falcon Aiden. When Garrett is navigating through parts of the forest, as well as in Dragon Country, Aiden will fly to the area where Garrett needs to step and chirp. This is to let Garrett know where he needs to go. This is such a fine detail to show that although Garrett is incredibly self-sufficient, Aiden helps him a lot. The silver-winged falcon plays a huge role in the choreography of the movie. As for the characters, there are so many great things about them, starting off with the mother, Juliana. While she doesn't have a spectacularly massive role in the film, she does play her part. She shows a huge range of emotions throughout the movie. She is heartbroken when Lionel dies, worried and confused raising Kaylee alone, and scared when she sends her only daughter away to try and save Camelot on her own. She openly admits her feelings and is strong in her own way without being perfect. Kaylee is what I would consider a near-perfect female protagonist. She is brave and dedicated, but also genuinely herself. She makes mistakes that sometimes cause real damage. She is afraid but curious and ready to learn. She can improvise and isn't afraid to accept help. That is what makes a relatable and believable character. She is not perfect, but she has a lot of heart. At the beginning of the film, Kaylee sings On My Father's Wings, expressing her desire to follow in her father's footsteps of becoming a knight and serving her kingdom, rather than being at home and tending to the house and fields. She follows her dream, and despite the struggles, she reaches her goal in the end. Garrett is an extremely interesting character. We don't often get to see someone young who is obviously differently abled in children's movies from this time period. Garrett went blind when he was young. The stable he was in caught fire, and he was kicked by a horse, causing him to slowly lose his sight. Lionel helped him learn to live without his eyes. He didn't feel like he belonged in society, so he retreated into the woods to become a hermit. As a person who is differently abled myself, Garrett is such an important representation in film. He doesn't feel sorry for himself, or expect people to feel sorry for him. While he does feel sad sometimes about not being able to see, he embraces his life. The best part about Garrett's character, though, is he remains blind throughout the entire movie. He doesn't get his eyesight back. Why is that good? Because it shows that even though he is blind, he is accepted in the community and at the round table as a knight for who he is, for his actions and for his bravery, not because he can see. He is whole as he is, regardless of being different. Ruber is one of my favorite villains. From the very beginning, you can tell he's absolutely insane. He does not try to hide his insanity from anyone. There is no surprise villainy or twist bad guy. Ruber is just unsettling the whole time, which is one of the best things a villain can be. When he invades Juliana's home, he's disrespectful and loathsome, requesting a kiss because she's still single, knowing that her husband died by his hand. He threatens to kill her daughter as well unless she helps him. He's explaining that he wants to take Camelot. He's bored of peace and wants to incite chaos. He even knows how crazy he is. When Juliana says, "You're mad," he responds with,
"I'm so glad you noticed. I've been working at it for years."
His song is pretty brilliantly plotted out as well. It explains his entire plan to invade Camelot. It's catchy and just a little bit off. His facial tic and jerking movements show a lot of his madness, and the song is a mixture of singing, talking, yelling, and even laughing. This makes it feel chaotic and enhancing the craziness of his plan. He's so cocky that his plan is going to work, that his hubris becomes his demise. While many people don't even remember the movie, it is massively underrated. With all of the good points that it has, and the few minor things, they don't seem quite as bad. Plus, keeping in mind the movie was designed for young children, 6 years old at the youngest. So there needs to be the levity of a two-headed singing dragon and a talking griffin so that they will be entertained. If you love or hate this movie, I'd love to know why in the comments down below. What do you think of Quest for Camelot? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Pupcorn. Toodles! She's heartbroken when Lionel dies, worried and confused about raising Haley alone. Haley? Who the fuck is Haley?